Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Bob Walters. This is Locked Up Sports. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. We are also on anywhere you get your podcasts. You can find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, and of course, always on our website, lockedupsports.net. Lockedupsports.net. We ask that you rate, review, and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button so we know you're here. Review us so we know if you like it or not. And give us a rating, 5 stars, hopefully. But, whatever you feel is just, give us the rating. So, the Mets and Yankees both coming out of the gate slow here after the All-Star break, right? Neither one of them playing great. They both lost 2 out of 3. Yankees in action right now. We're going to do mostly Mets here. We'll probably come back later tonight or later this afternoon after the game and do some Yankees. They lead 2-0 on Tampa. Rice with another home run. Rice has been a godsend for this team. He has really saved them a couple different times, and if they win today, he's going to have a part in saving them again because this is a big day for both the Mets and the Yankees. They're playing each other tomorrow. The second installation of the Subway Series, so they play each other tomorrow, and then today now they both lost 2 out of 3 to teams that they're better than coming out of the gate. The Yankees, of course, they're in much better shape than the Mets. The Yankees are, they're securely in the playoffs. The Mets are still in the second wild card, but there's a bunch of teams right there. It's all grouped together in the National League when it comes to the wild card. Basically, everybody except for the Marlins and the Nationals are in it. You got and I'm telling you, watch out for the Pirates because they're coming. The Pirates have Skeens every 5th day. It's an event. They have young pitching. They have good hitting. They're starting to believe, and they're only a game out. And they've beaten some good teams now. They beat the Phillies a couple times. So watch out for the Pirates. The Mets, though, right now, as it sits right now, the Mets are in the second wild card. But it's a very precarious position. They've lost 2 out of 3. Yesterday, Scott got beat up. The pitching is now starting to come back down to earth, which we knew was going to happen because we know that these guys are not as good as the way they pitched over the last month. The Mets are a very up and down team all year. Right, they started the season losing 6 in a row. Then they won 13 of 20, and then they tanked for a month, and then they're just the hottest team in baseball for a month. So they're very Jekyll and Hyde, up and down type of team. And when it gets down to it, you're right at 500, and that's what 500 teams are. 500 teams are not win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game. They often are very streaky, like this Mets team, and the Mets got to somehow find a way these next 10 days to just get hot, to stay hot. And just, at least at minimum 5-5. You'd like to go 7-3, 6-4. You'll take, but you got to avoid a 3-7, 2-8, because then you might not be buyers. A lot of people think the Mets are they're automatically buyers. They're not automatically buyers because if they tank now these next 10 days, they will not be buyers. This was a year that Cohen and Stearns were willing to give up. They're not going to sacrifice the next 5 years to go for it this year, and especially if they're right on the border of do we go for it? Do we not go for it? They're going to choose to not go for it and keep their assets in the minor leagues. Now, if they play well these next 10 days, and it's a tough 10 days, you got today against the Marlins, you got 2 against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium, then you got 4 against the Braves, which we know is just a horror show for the Mets almost every time they play them. And then you got the Twins coming into Citi Field for 3. And the Twins are not bad either. They're 5 games back of the Indians. They're in second place. They're playing good baseball this year. So it's not going to be easy. This is almost like a 10-game gauntlet that the Mets have to just maneuver their way through. And like I said, come out 5-5, 6-4, and they'll be okay. Then you could get your bullpen help. And it's really not even the full 10 games because the 10 games take you right through the All-Star break, right? So unless they're making last-minute deals, and we know most of the deals are last-minute deals, but it has to start tonight. And it has to start with Peterson tonight. And he's got to pitch better than Scott pitched yesterday. Scott, yesterday, he looked like the rookie that he is, right? He's pitched well recently, but yesterday he hung a breaking ball to Chisholm, and he just put it, 25 rows deep in the right field seats. And now Sports Illustrated is reporting today that the Mets are possibly interested in Chisholm. Now, if they could get him, that'd be fantastic. It's going to cost a lot to get him, a lot. I mean, he is. I have it right here. You're talking about a guy he's young, he's dynamic, he gets speed, he could hit with power, he could play the field, he could play the middle infield positions, and he could also play a little bit in center field. And he's good wherever he is. He's also only making $2.5 million this year, and he's arbitration eligible for 2026. So that means you're going to have him under your control for 2 years. And I don't think the Mets are going to want to go that deep into their prospects, because the Marlins are going to be asking a whole boatload for him, and deservedly so. He's a hell of a player. You saw him just in the last couple of days. He made a couple good plays in the field. He deposited a long home run yesterday on a mistake by Scott. It's also Sports Illustrated also reporting that the Mets are possibly interested in Luis Roberts Jr., another center fielder. He'd be an immediate upgrade. Okay, he's also signed through next year, and then team options for 26 and 27. He's got 11 home runs. He's got a 775 OPS, 23 RBIs. He stole 11 bases. So the Mets, if they could get one of those two guys, I would rather Chisholm, but I don't think they're going to. I don't think those are the kinds of deals the Mets are making at this trade deadline this year. That would be like a step on those two guys. One of those two guys would be a step under like the Cespedes deal that they made. And I told you, I don't think the Mets are doing anything like that. I think for the most part, they're going to stand pat. They're going to get Zenga back, right? Because you want Zenga, you're going to get him back. They're going to tell you that is a trade deadline acquisition. It's like we got him in a trade because he's finally coming back. I mean, it's July. Like I told you it's July. The 4-week injury has turned into 4 months, and it's July. But they're gonna sell that to you, that he's a guy we're picking up at the deadline kind of situation. They did it every year with DeGrom. So you're gonna get that. I think they're gonna get some arms in the pen. I think they could kind of go look at the Oakland A's. They could look at the Angels, have a couple of arms. Not huge, price tags on them. And I think that's the kind of shopping the Mets are going to be doing. I don't think you're going to see Alonso moved. I don't think you're going to see any big pieces moved. You might see some marquee names like McNeil or like Beatty. They might go, but in the great scheme of things, those are really not marquee players anymore. Beatty is a big prospect who's kind of floundering on being a bust. And McNeil is someone who's older, who has a contract for a couple of years now, who is a former batting champion, but is really falling off the cliff. I was hoping maybe he'd get it going, especially at that first game in Miami on, Thursday or Friday night, where he had 2 home runs. You figure, okay, good, he could get it going now for the next week, and then they could get something for him. But if McNeil doesn't get it going, I don't even think anybody's going to want him. He's really not done much this year. He's hitting like 204. And 204 is not going to get you, anything you need in the playoffs. At least if he's hitting for the last week and he caught fire, they could sell it as, hey, he's back. McNeil's back. But I don't think that you could sell it like that unless he really catches fire over the next week. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if the Mets make any big deals. I don't know if they do. Listen, it starts tonight, though. It starts with tonight's game. Peterson on the mound. And you need a big performance from Peterson. You needed a big one from Severino 2 days ago. You got it. They won 1-0. You need one tonight in this last game of this wraparound series. And then you go into Yankee Stadium tomorrow for one of 2. Play 2 games at Yankee Stadium, 4 at Citi Field against the Braves. And that right there is going to be the crucial 6 days. Because after that, now you're getting the 2 days and 1 day before the deadline. Now you got to make a decision. It's now or never. So the next 6-7 days from starting tonight, they got to win tonight. And then you got to play, 4-3, minimum 3-4, minimum. I don't even want to say 3-4 because 3-4 is going to put you at, if you win tonight, it's going to put you at 5 and, 5 wins out of the All-Star break in the first 12 days. So We'll see how it goes. The Mets, they could also go, like I said, they could go get out of the A's, have some arms, and so do the Angels, and they could do that. Now they're still sitting in the second wild card spot, so they're not in bad shape. But it's all bunched up in the National League, and the Pirates are coming, and then the Reds are there, and the Cardinals are playing better. So we'll see. And you come right out of the All-Star break. If you have a couple bad games, now all of a sudden you drop right out. Look at the Red Sox. Red Sox were the hottest team going into the break. They come out, they get swept over the weekend, and now it's like, maybe we weren't that good. And you start rethinking things. So it's a very interesting time from the All-Star break until next week, till the 31st of July, when we have the trade deadline. And it's gonna be a lot of fun, and hopefully the Mets can get things going. Right? We've come this far in this season with the roller coaster ride that this season has been the entire time. You've come this far. You'd hate to have them throw it away now, going 2-10. And of course, it would be the Braves and the Yankees who they're playing. And it's going to be interesting. Severino's going to be pitching again in Yankee Stadium against his old team. He's making comments over the weekend about how they're not that good. They only got 2 good hitters. You better back it up, because he's gonna get a rough treatment from the crowd, and he better back it up. And he backed it up the other day. He pitched a hell of a game. They needed that in the worst way. Got 1-0. He gave you 6 shutout innings. The bullpen came together. They pitched well. Yesterday again, the bullpen gave up a late home run, but I don't think the Mets were going to win that game anyway. After that 3-run homer that Scott gave up, and he just hung. You can't throw it there to lefties, down and in. Just spinning, no movement. A good lefty hitter is going to kill that ball, and Chisholm did, and he's a good lefty hitter. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, trade deadline 9 days away. Yankees with a 2-0 lead, bottom of the 4th inning against Tampa Bay. Rice with the home run, the out of nowhere. There's Ben Rice, right out of nowhere. So that's what's going on here. Like I said, maybe we'll be back later to talk about the Yankees. It was mostly Mets today. Mets, Marlins tonight, 7:00. Big game for Peterson. He's pitched well since he's come back from the injury. He's 4-0. He's really been good in every start. Mets needed it in the worst way tonight, because after tonight, it's 2 against the Yankees, 4 against the Braves, and then 3 against the Twins. And this is going to determine how the Mets are going to approach the trade deadline and going forward for the rest of the season. So, big game tonight. Let's see if they can get it. They should be able to. The Marlins are a bad baseball team. You've now lost 2 out of 3. You got to get tonight. So that's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, on this Sunday coming up, we have Casey Stern. You know him from MLB on TBS. He did the World Series, the postseason, the NBA. Inside the NBA, he hosted NBA TV, MLB TV. He's got a new podcast out. So a lot going on there. We're excited to talk to him. Make sure you don't miss that. That's Sunday, next Sunday. So Sunday the 28th, I believe it is. So that's going to be good. We haven't had a guest in a while, right? I figured we got to get somebody. And I got Casey Stern, one of the best guys. He's a Long Island guy. He's a big Mets fan. It's going to be fun. So that does it for us here today. Don't forget, rate, review, and subscribe on YouTube, on wherever you go. We have Instagram, as you see us scrolling across the top of the screen if you're watching. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, we're everywhere. So, and you can always find us at lockedupsports.net, lockedupsports.net. So, Yankees in the lead, going in for more now. It looks like in the bottom of the 3rd. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the Mets. Let's go Mets tonight. Big one tonight. We'll talk to you later, everybody. I'm Bob Walters from the Brian Gunzel Studio. See ya.